Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, Week 16, spread picks, previews, maybe some free Christmas parlays and teasers coming up a little bit later on. But, bet one Christmas, win 10 Christmases, as I'm sure something will say, or 10 Hanukkahs with Geoff Fienberg. Coming off your birthday, you got birthday swag this week.
Yeah, birthday swag, some birthday cash.
I took your thing, by the way. We're going to get to that. I should let everyone know that coming up next week, I'm going to have a full schedule of shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll be back with the Week 17 Draftkings picks and the Week 16 spread picks. You will not be here for the spread pick show. I have a special guest lined up.
That's exciting.
To fill in. Yeah. Do you know who it is?
I do. Do you want me to spoil it?
No, don't spoil it.
Yeah, no. I'll be out in San Diego. So
playing golf?
Should be good.
Going to Torrey Pines?
I don't know if I'm going to go to play Torrey. I don't know. It's expensive.
Yeah, but if you bet one Christmas and win 10 Christmases, you can afford a Torrey Pines round.
And my uncle's local isn't going to be there. But I don't know. Should be good. Hoping to play some golf. Might even check out the Holiday Bowl.
Oh, who's in that?
It's Michigan State, Washington State. So like a Big Ten pack, defense, offense, contrast. We'll see. I don't know. It might hurt going to the stadium, though.
Yeah, that's true. It really hurt your heart?
Just like, So we'll see. But I always like going out there.
I do want to let everyone know to give the episode a like. And if you give your super lock or potential free money parlay, maybe if it beats CUST, maybe leave your Draftkings name right below it. You'll be entered in the contest for when I open the new studio. I think I have a bunch of DK dollars to give away here. And spoiler alert, the new studio, very close. Very, very close.
Very close.
We're just here because we're comfortable here right now. Maybe right after the new year starts, maybe a week into the new year, we'll be into the new studio, and I can give away some DK bucks to some of you out there. So get in the contest. Give the episode a like, rate us on iTunes, and leave your DraftKings name, or just leave a comment. And just leave a comment. You can do both. You can do all three of them if you really want to, because it does really help the show. It's just as good as telling a friend, which also you can do. Now, to bring in the third member of the team, do not forget, you have till December 29th to vote December 23rd, to vote in the 2017 CUST Awards, because there's been a lot of things Andrew Curse at the fist of Timanda CUST.
Timanda CUST.
That is not my name.
Are you curious to see what wins the CUSTies?
Actually, I am curious because,
Have you voted?
Yes. Pardon me? I have observed categories. I felt it would be unethical to vote.
Fair enough. I've only voted once, too. I'm not pushing any agenda either.
I only voted once.
I encourage people to go in and submit a blank ballot, except for the last question where you vote no.
No, you should probably vote yes. I feel like that one's going to be the biggest landslide of all of them.
Bigger than the poll? His poll?
Oh, yes. I think it might be more lopsided than his poll. Because people start seeing the results of his polls and then feel bad for him. But now you can't see the results instantaneously here, so everyone's like, of course it's called CUST Corner.
I'm now very interested about next week to see who's going to be on the podcast. No one told me.
Yeah, you don't know yet. It's going to be a very special guest, Tim.
I like it. Have you given the schedule for next week?
No, because I only have some of the show shots. So the three of us will be on next Tuesday.
Okay.
Will be a majors preview show for golf. Then Wednesday, you and I will be breaking down the 10 players each that we're excited about for the PGA season. Then I believe Thursday is DraftKings picks. Friday is the Spread Pick'em show. And then I'll have a entire DraftKings golf strategy session. I filmed that with Jeff Bergerson and Ben Raza. That will come out New Year's Day. Then we'll be back to preview Tournament of Champions, and then DraftKings Tournament of Champions. It just rolls right into it. And I guess I can spoil this now. We are not doing a mini CUST Corner today because we are filming a Merry Custmas full-length CUST Corner for Christmas Day. Get away from your families. Introduce them to CUST Corner. You'll have a few laughs. So we're going to try to fly through this. We can film this right after. So let's get into the recap from last week. I was the big winner of the week. After 2 weeks in a row, I've come out like 8-1 through the Thursday and early games, and then just lost it all through the back end. But I went 9-4-3. There were 3 pushes last week, which was really devastating. So I'm now 8 games above 500 for the year. Jeff, you were 8-5. CUST rallied back at the end to go 6-7 for the week. The coin is also 6-7. So I'm at 111 and 103. Tim is at 109 and 10. Well, I have that wrong. 108 and 106.
108, 106, and 13.
So I have a 3-game lead going on to Tim with 2 weeks left.
You'll
Which
get
Tim
him.
would say, if he was winning, would be insurmountable. I actually know how this works, and I know this can flip very easily.
But like, just think about the last couple weeks. How many games I think you've made in just 2 weeks? I feel.
Yeah,
I think your lead is insurmountable.
Well, you can try to Ander curse me. We know it's a fake reverse curse.
I don't know what you mean.
Superlock-wise, I won, Geoff lost, Tim pushed. Tim has 2 pushes on a Superlock.
Impressive.
Isn't that grand?
Do you know what the great thing about gambling on sports is? I watched an incredible amount of Arizona and Washington last week because that was the game I had the most money on.
I was watching that game also, and it was just an annoying game.
It was horrible. It was a horrible game.
Like, Arizona only kicked field goals.
I feel like Arizona had the ball for 95% of the game.
Washington just couldn't put them away with opportunities, but then you felt like, I don't know, should Washington have even put them away? Like, aren't we just blessed Arizona's only kicking 6 field goals today or something?
Well, it was great because eventually, because they just kept getting the ball into the red zone every time, Arizona, then kicking the field goals. But eventually, Washington was up by 5, and the spread was 4.5. And I was like, oh, they have to go for a touchdown. And I was like, well, Bruce Arians isn't the smartest guy in the world. What if he just kicks a field goal for no reason and screws me here? Like the Lisa Simpson kicked a field goal to cover the spread at the last second. The meaningless field goal didn't happen. So Washington gets me to 9-6. It's a winning year on the Superlocks. I was in Dormy last week, but I can't lose now. In terms of regular season, I'm up. 5-10 for you, Geoff. That's a bad look. CUST is 6-7-2 on his Superlock, but his moneyline parlay did hit last week. He's having a nice little mini run here at the back end of the season with his free money. He's now 5-11 and giving away free money this week. And Tim, what do you have for the people this week?
Oh, I have, because it's Christmas and I'm a giver, I have both a teaser that's free money and a money line parlay for the people.
They're both going to lose.
He's won, what, 2 of the last 3 weeks, right?
I think he's won 3 of the past 4 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And I gave away a free parlay on Saturday night that doesn't count in this, but I gave away a Saturday parlay with over-unders and totals, and that hit as well.
Fire! He's on hot fire, so Fade the Cust is coming here soon.
I'm like the opposite of the Grinch. I give Christmas.
Oh. Maybe 10 Christmases if they put the money down.
He's also...
well, yes.
Yeah. He's also, like, custing Heisman winners and stuff, though.
That's true, and Andrew cursing Antonio Brown, and Carson Wentz, and even poor T.J. Jones. Andrew cursed him. How dare you?
I take no responsibility.
I think T.J. Jones will be a star. 2 hours later, out for the year.
That was an unfortunate series of coincidences.
All right, let's get into the games. 2 Saturday games. Indy at Baltimore. Baltimore at home, favored by 13.5 points. The one good thing about this, was it Christmas Eve last year where it was Pittsburgh-Baltimore, and, like, that was a game you had to watch?
That was Christmas night.
Was that Christmas night? Because, like, I'm glad. Like, I don't have to watch this game. Like, I really don't care. Does anyone care?
If you're in a fantasy finals.
Even so. Like, it's not like if this was the Monday night slate, I could see watching it to see what happened. But, like, you can go have a few eggnogs, go away for 3 hours, come back, and just see if Mike Wallace scored you 12 points. I don't think you really need to sit down and watch this one.
Yeah, if you're a fan of an AFC team fighting for a wild card spot, this game is relevant to you. But
sure,
that's about it.
My good friend Sad Jamie will be at the bar watching the Ravens game because he loves the Ravens. But that might be it.
Well, but if you're a fan of the Bills or the Chargers or the Titans, the Ravens losing is good news for some, bad news for others. So it has that kind of relevancy, and that's literally it.
Geoff, you are a fan of the Los Angeles Chargers. Will you be watching this game?
I'll be in San Diego for my first night, so no. 0 chance.
All right.
If it's, like, close to the fourth quarter, I would like the Ravens.
This is a game you watch through an app. You just follow along on Twitter and see what's happening.
Yeah, not even.
Yeah.
Because it's also early, I guess. It's afternoon Saturday.
Is it afternoon?
Well, there's 2 of them. So one of them's at, like, 8, and one of them's got to be at, like, 4:30 or something, like last week.
Yeah, just like last week.
All right, do you have a strong take either way? Jeremy Maclin doesn't look like he's going to play for Baltimore. Indy has a terrible offensive line. They just got beat by the Broncos at home when Brock Osweiler came in the game.
Yeah, I'd say the spread is a little high. So
seems big.
Blindly, I'm going to take Indianapolis, just swallow the points. No real interest here. Indy is so poorly coached, and they have a lot of injuries and a lack of depth. So if this game does get ugly in the second half, that doesn't shock me one bit either.
I'm going to take Baltimore. Like this is a really tricky spot of the year where there's now teams that have legit nothing to play for versus teams that are really trying to get in the playoffs. And I mean, how many points do you think Indy scores on Baltimore's defense, Tim? 10?
Yeah, not too many. I mean, listen, last time we saw these Colts play, Brock Osweiler was dissecting them. So, I mean, that tells you all you need to know. I'm not in love with the minus 13.5, although I will lay it, but they will be the first end of a 7-point free money teaser, and we'll tease them down to 6.5.
Oh, so 7-point tease.
Yeah, we'll tease them down to 6.5, but we'll take the minus 13.5 too for the show.
Okay. Well, moving on. The coin is taken Indy, in case you wanted to know. Minnesota at Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers has been placed on IR. He will not be playing. We're back to the Brett Hundley era. Devontae Adams doesn't look like he's going to be a go either with his concussion. Tell the truth is what he is asking right now. I mean, it's +9. They're getting 9 points at home. Brett Hundley's covered some spreads, like when Tim Anderkirk poor Cleveland, and Brett Hundley covered in overtime in Cleveland, so he's a real hero for that one. But again, this is Minnesota. They're still playing for the bye. They can still catch Philly if something disastrous happens to Philly this week. I mean, it's probably not going to happen, but is 9 points too much at home?
Yes. Yes, I mean, this is a very good Minnesota team, but it's in division, a dome team going outdoors in the freezing cold at night to play the Packers, who, now they just have a chance to play spoiler. I don't think the Packers are going to win the game, but I think they're going to keep it very close. I think it's going to be an ugly game, like a 13-10, 17-14 sort of game. So I will take the Packers getting 9 at home.
I'll actually take Minnesota -9 on the road for a few reasons. Just how effectively they can run the ball. One of the biggest surprises to me all season long is that Latavius Murray isn't washed up. He looked bad in Oakland, and he looks good all of a sudden, which is shocking to me. Maybe it's the mix with Jarek that they've learned how to use those two guys, but the Packers' offensive line is Bush League. Brett Hundley is Bush League, and that defense in Minnesota is healthy, and it's going to come storming the castle. Just look at the amount of points Carolina was able to put up last week at will. They could not stop Cam whatsoever. They could not stop that offense. And honestly, if Carolina had just wanted to pass the ball to Christian McCaffrey every play, I'm pretty sure it would have worked. And I think I can see that with Thielen this week. I can see that with Jerick McKinnon out of the backfield. I think this could be a place where Minnesota alone, people are going to get a good look at them this week to see how good they really are, and they're going to start scaring some teams come the playoffs. I think they'll get a beat down in Green Bay here.
I'm with you, Pat. Also, that bubble is so bursted in Green Bay. They really got excited that Aaron Rodgers could lead them. It's a demoralized Packer team who will dominate both sides of the ball, the line of scrimmage. I will lay this 9 points.
Is Green Bay effectively out of the running for the Week 17 game? Because they're not, in a sense, because there's a situation where Detroit could win and be in, which would just be awful.
Here's the thing.
Detroit has a lot of opportunities to get in the playoffs, actually.
Yeah, but the Week 17 game could be a win and you're in game.
It
not
could
for the
be,
Packers.
But for Detroit.
Yeah, it could be, but they
Step
could also
one has to be the Falcons losing against the Saints. If that doesn't happen, I don't think it can be a win and in game.
Also, to the Packers, let's not forget, without Aaron Rodgers, this is the Cleveland Browns. This is a team that is as talented as the 53 guys the Cleveland Browns put out there when Aaron Rodgers isn't there. That's how I see it.
I bet on the Browns last week. That didn't work.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. All right, Sunday games. Atlanta at New Orleans. This is a contender for Game of the Week. 6-point favorites at home. The New Orleans Saints. Atlanta didn't look great on Monday night. New Orleans also didn't look great against the Jets either. I feel like Atlanta was kind of saving themselves for this game. I mean, this happened 2 weeks ago. Atlanta won at home in a very close game. Elvin Kamara got knocked out in the first drive with a concussion. He's back healthy. So, that gives them another part of their offense. Ted Ginn's banged up. Tevin Coleman may not play. You think there's a chance Atlanta goes into the Superdome and wins?
I do not, and I know the number's a bit big, but gun to my head here, Pat, I think I'm just going to lean with the better team. I wish I didn't have to lay this many points, but Kamara left that game early last week, when they played a couple weeks ago. I think this is just where the better team, the Saints, sort of show their true cards in this game. They lost that close one on a Thursday, on a short week. Both teams, you said it. Last week you saw both teams were clearly in a look-ahead spot for this game, but I don't love the number, but I'm going to go with the logic of winning team finds that way to push it over a number here.
Tim, are you intrigued by the -6?
No, I think they've hung a bad line. I don't understand how Falcons team who just 2 weeks ago beat New Orleans by 3 points. Two very close teams now laying 6 at the Superdome. The Falcons, an indoor team themselves, are used to playing at the Dome. I think that's a very bad line. The value is clearly on the Falcons. We're going to take the Falcons plus the 6. We're going to tease them up to 13. Because even if the Saints win the game, I don't envision the Saints beating down the Falcons in any way, shape, or form, because the Saints just don't run that type of offense or style anymore. They played the Jets last week, and the Jets hung with them for 3.5 quarters and had opportunities to even win the game, for heaven's sake. That's how unimpressive New Orleans was. In fact, New Orleans has had a couple of unimpressive games the last couple of weeks. They did not look good that good against the Rams. They were overmatched by the Falcons. They didn't look that good against the Jets. New Orleans may be a team that peaked and is starting to ebb, and the Falcons, give them their credit. They've won 2 good Monday Night Football games this year at Seattle and home at Tampa, both by a field goal short, but they got them done. I got more faith in the Falcons than I do in the Saints right now. So give me the Falcons plus the 6.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Atlanta plus 6 too. I just think that, weirdly enough, I'm on the same page as Tim. It feels like the Saints peaked, and now they're a good team. And they're not a team that I would tease against, only because I know how many points they can just run up, and they do have the better defense in this matchup. So the 13, that's why the -6 wouldn't bother me if you wanted New Orleans, because they're capable of winning this game by 30.
I think there's more talent on New Orleans. Kamara didn't play the last game. When they played 2 weeks ago on the road on a Thursday, I think that's almost like a write-off. As someone that thought the Jets would keep it close or would cover last week based on the fact that there was a look-ahead game. And if you watch that game...
And also Tim picked against the Jets.
But New Orleans was literally... They weren't playing a football team last week, and that's maybe a fault of their own. They were playing a clock. They literally were playing a clock in that football game, in my opinion. And Atlanta looked pretty sluggish as well in their game. So it's hard to make of it. It's not a game I want to bet. I would need lower points to actually want to bet New Orleans. But I think the Superdome better team rises.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to take Atlanta. I just think that they're trending up. They're winning some of these close games. I mean, I could see them winning by 3, losing by 3.
I don't want to bet this game.
That kind of thing. I'm considering throwing Atlanta into my Super 7. We'll see. I think every time I've used them this year, they have just horribly let me down. But except for that one time against Seattle.
I love the Falcons this week.
Oh, well, now I don't feel so hot about it. Oh, here's a fun one. Buffalo at New England.
Can I ask a question?
You can do whatever you'd like.
So he teased it to 6.5.
He teased Baltimore down to 6.5. He teased Atlanta up to 13.
Saw that wrong.
Okay. Buffalo at New England. -11 for New England at home. Buffalo needs to win this game.
Mike Leone. New England needs to win it desperately too.
I would. You know what, Tim? I'm gonna say the Bills probably have more desperation than the Patriots do at this point. Not gonna lie to you.
If the Patriots lose, they play on wild card week.
Yes. If the Patriots lose, they make the playoffs. If the Buffalo loses, they're out. Thanks though. You really have a good grasp of this situation.
No, he does have a good grasp, but he's off here. The Buffalo needs it more. It's still a game of importance to New England, but Buffalo needs it more. That's
okay. I don't disagree with that.
Okay, we're arguing the same thing. So
I think the Bills cover. I think the Bills threaten the game too. New England is a boxer who now looks pretty.
Oh, I just heard an audible groan from Paul Shagg behind the curtain. Bills fan not liking that take at all.
I've watched the Patriots the last couple of weeks get beat up by the Dolphins, get beat up by the Steelers. They should have lost to the Steelers. They did lose to the Dolphins. They looked unimpressive the week before. The week they played, was it? Who did they play? I think they might have played Buffalo in between. They didn't even look great in the game they beat Buffalo in. I don't know. It just seems like this Patriots team is just hanging on, trying to get to the postseason, needs it desperately. If the Bills just simply double team Gronkowski, I think the Patriots will probably lose. Now, I think the Bills are stupid, so they probably won't double team Gronkowski.
It's as simple as double teaming Gronkowski for the victory.
No one's ever thought of that before, so that's smart.
If the Steelers double team Gronkowski, they would have won by 14 last week. That's really not up to question.
At certain moments, but that's to say that if they're not double teaming Gronkowski, Brady can't find one-on-one to the running back or something versus a linebacker. Or
Brandon Cooks is just wide open 50 yards down the field.
So, I get it, but come on, there's other factors, Tim.
Brady has not looked good in about a month. That's just a fact.
I'll agree with Tim in the sense that, maybe they don't look themselves, but Belichick is kind of smart enough to know that they just got to find, a way. So maybe the 11 points isn't enticing, but I see the Bills doing something to let this thing get away from them.
We saw this game in Buffalo, 3 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And I believe the spread was 9 Patriots in Buffalo.
And wasn't that just off of the Patriots, like in Mexico or something?
I think it was the week
Yes,
before.
they crushed them. Yeah.
Either way, the Patriots didn't play well in that game. But what do?
No.
They covered the 9 in Buffalo in a very unimpressive fashion. If they come out semi-decent this week, they're going to destroy them.
I don't agree. I think the Bills are starting to play. The Bills seem to have a sort of a verve to them. They're starting to play
What's
good
the
football.
verve? Hold on. What have the Bills done? They've won December home games at the Ralph, one in a blizzard, one against
Yeah,
a team
they
from
beat
South
Miami
Florida.
at home in December.
So
Thanks.
I agree. I'm excited for the Bills. Like, if my team couldn't take a spot, like I'd love for Bills Mafia to take that wild card spot. But I don't know. Like, let's pump the brakes on exactly what they have accomplished as well.
They're a completely unimpressive team, but
I mean, in the last month of games, they went into Arrowhead and won, which is not that easy. They beat the Colts in a blizzard. They beat a red hot Dolphins team at home and played really good football.
When you say a red hot Dolphins team, you mean a Dolphins team that was riding like a 1-game winning streak?
A 2-game winning streak, and
they
beat
the Broncos.
Oh yeah, they beat the Broncos. Sorry about that.
and then the very Patriots, who are about to come into. Just saying.
Yeah, hold on though. It was almost like Here's the thing, though. It's tough because last week, me and you, I'm wrong a lot, but we kind of sat here like, I don't almost care what number they decide to lay on the Bills. You beat the Patriots on Monday night, and then you go into Buffalo. It's like, yes, the Bills dominated Miami. That's as bad of a spot game, I think, as there almost is in the schedule once Miami has beaten the Patriots on Monday last, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, that was. I mean, I know this gets thrown out all the time. That was Miami's Super Bowl.
I
I'm taking
feel
New
like
England.
we spent too much time
I'm taking
on
New
this
England.
game,
No,
man.
this is actually what I want to throw out because Leone put this out on Twitter. Who would be the better team if the Bills and Patriots traded quarterbacks tomorrow? And Tyrod was the quarterback of the Patriots, and Brady was the quarterback of the Bills.
I would love to bet the Patriots at a pick 'em if that's what you're asking.
I don't think the Patriots would win 3 games.
But I mean, we saw. Now, is that an indictment of Tyrod? Because we saw Jacoby Brissett do all right.
It's not an indictment of Tyrod. It is a deification, if you will, of Tom Brady. He is like Aaron Rodgers, that he covers up for the significantly poor way that team's been constructed in New England. They have the second worst defense in the NFL. They have an offense which is completely dependent upon an oft-injured receiver and an oft-injured tight end, and no running backs worth their salt. Brady saves all of these things because he's a magician. You take Tom Brady off that team, that Patriots team is a 3-13, 4-12 team. No doubt in my mind.
I have
Gronk might be the best tight end ever. I'm sorry about your boy Antonio
No.
James.
Even, you know what? Because even I was watching the end of that Steeler game with my wife, whose favorite player of all time is Antonio Gates, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, he took, like, when Gates came in the league, like, he took, like, almost Tony G to, like, a new level of athleticism out of the tight end. I'm like, this guy, it's like everything. Like, he will beat all Gates' records in a fraction of the time.
He's almost there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's done. Like, in consecutive seasons with like 8 or 10 like touchdowns and the total touchdowns. It is insane. It is funny that teams don't double team him more.
Because the Patriots system is so good.
Yeah,
that if you do double team them,
well, that's the thing.
They're gonna have guys in open field.
You guys were at the game. You sat in a suite. You saw it. The Chargers tried to double team him, and they just threw 18 passes to running backs. That's what will happen. So there's almost nothing you can do. Also, a funny story this week, well, talk about it this game or down the line, is like those mystery rumors. Like Tim Kawakami out of San Francisco is like secretly speaking to NFL executives, unnamed ones, trying to figure out just why they traded Jimmy for so little. And there's all sorts of like funny conspiracy theories that like Robert Kraft found out that Belichick wanted to keep Jimmy like after next year and made the trade himself or something. So it shocked me. Yeah, there's all sorts of funny stories there.
Garoppolo's the future. I mean, I've said it before. They made a mistake.
He's a legend. I'm so in.
Okay. New England or Buffalo this week?
He's Patrick I'm in on Cantley on Garoppolo.
The coin's taking Buffalo. Jeff, who are you taking?
I'll take New England. They'll weasel away. But it's either going to be really, really close or New England wins
30-3.
Yeah.
Cleveland at Chicago. Now, I just admonished myself for taking Cleveland last week against the Ravens. I am taking Cleveland on the road plus 6.5 here. I can't lay 6.5 points with Chicago. They're awful.
Can I interrupt you? Pro Football Talk released an article yesterday. I did not know this. In the John Fox era, the Bears are 0-7 as favorites. ATS! Maybe even straight up. I'm not sure. I'll go, confirm it. But is that not rich? So, yeah, Cleveland. Sure. Give me Cleveland.
This is the only game Cleveland will play all year where it's like a push at quarterback. Is it straight up?
I think Trubisky's not that terrible. I mean, he looks a lot like Goff did last year. We all made fun of him.
Sure, but Goff statistically was like one of the worst quarterbacks ever last year. Now, Trubisky could take I have far more confidence that Trubisky could take a leap next year, but definitely as opposed to Kaiser, who just sucks. But right now, Kaiser and Trubisky are right around the same level.
Oh, no, I don't disagree on that. I just think that Trubisky could make some steps next year if he gets a coach and some skill position players.
Well, when this game happens next year, Tim, you can bring this up.
I like the Browns. It's the 1-year anniversary of the Browns' last victory, Christmas Eve. It's another Christmas Eve game. I think they keep it close and lose on a last-minute field goal. I think the Bears win, but I think the Brownies cover.
Could you imagine the buzz around Hugh Jackson if he wins this game? He's already the most sought-after coach. If he wins this game, people are just going to be like, oh, my God. They'll trade 2 first-round picks for him. Someone will get more for Hugh. The Browns will get more for Hugh Jackson than the Patriots got for Jimmy G.
Well, that wouldn't be too much. I guess if some team sent 2 bags of donuts to the Browns, they would have gotten more than Jimmy G returned.
Chicago's record in the Fox era is 0-7 as a favorite and 13-26 as an underdog. Wow, that's crazy.
I think my favorite
still better than the Browns' record in the Hugh Jackson era.
That's true. I think my favorite thing, because all of the Chicago fans want John Fox gone because he's a terrible coach at this point of this stage of his career. It's like when Lovie Smith got held around too long and he was coaching like it was 2001, but it just happened to be 2013. Your systems don't work anymore, Lovie. Sorry to tell you. John Fox is he's playing football from 20 years ago. It doesn't resemble that anymore. But there was a story that broke on Twitter, the local Fox affiliate signed a deal with the Bears for 5 years to broadcast their games on the radio. The headline was Fox re-ups for 5 years with the Bears.
Yeah.
And people were losing it.
Yeah.
That story went away because it's Twitter.
That's my second favorite one, other than the guy that was holding up the Firefox logo.
That's pretty good.
That is, as a sign, that was my favorite one.
I was reading reports all week that Jeff Fisher is angling for this Bears job. If
that
Fox
can't
gets
be
fired.
real.
Oh, yeah, you know what? You know what could happen is Tim will get his wish that Todd Bowles will be fired, and they'll sign Jeff Fisher.
Well, I think Fisher has a better chance in Chicago just because he was a part of that 85 Bears team, and there's a sentimentality to it. But
they should bring back Mike Singletary. He was on the 85 Bears as well, wasn't he?
He was. They should hire somebody out of the box.
Like you?
I would be great as the head coach. I would inspire them.
You give riveting speeches? Now, this is Doug the Pug, and he's awful.
Oh, let's not talk about that useless dog.
Jeff, who are you taking?
Oh, Cleveland.
All right,
I just gave the number.
Round of Cleveland for us. The coin does still like Chicago. Denver.
The coin is probably right.
Chicago's going to win and cover, right?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Okay.
But Cleveland is our pick.
Buy the hook, folks, if you're going to bet this game. Just buy the hook.
Denver or Washington?
It's one of my favorite games.
The absolute nothing bowl?
Yeah.
-3, Washington.
Same.
No, that's the spread of the game.
I thought you were just...
You're just on Washington here?
Yeah.
I like Washington, too. They're in super lock contention. I feel like these nothing games are the ones to target. Washington's better.
Yeah, they are. They've had some ugly, bad luck this year with injuries and games, and especially against the numbers. Although last week he was really lucky on the number.
Trent Williams is probably going to miss the rest of the season, which doesn't help when you have the attacking Denver defense coming at Kirk Cousins. But if you look at the other side, Washington has a top 10 pass rush right now, and Denver has a bottom 5 offensive line. And they're starting Brock Osweiler.
Yep.
So that's not good for them. And Washington's okay against the run as well, so they can shut down the immortal C.J. Anderson after doing nothing for 14 weeks. He bust onto the scene last Thursday against Indy. So
the one thing I do worry about is betting, and I kind of alluded to it a couple weeks ago, is Washington in that weird spot where like they're really playing for nothing, and usually you have a bad team, but it's like a quarterback that can keep them all together and keep them fighting. If they, like the Cousins situation in Washington itself makes me wonder what sort of like effort you get from QB1 in sort of leading the team in meaningless games. That's a concern. He
wants to go out and put up numbers right now. Is all he wants to do.
Okay.
And if that's the case, they're going to win this game by more than 3.
That's what I'd like to hear then.
What do you got, Tim?
First, I would say, can you imagine how much a person would have to not be fans of their family to go to this game on Christmas Eve, Redskins, Broncos? Like, oh, no, I can't be home for dinner tonight. I'm going to see the Broncos and Redskins play. It's sad. Redskins are a part of the free money parlay. I think they win the game. I don't see how they lose. The Broncos have there's really not a whole lot to say other than I was reading reports that Paxton Lynch may actually start this game. So even more reason to want to go with Washington.
I thought he was still – I read a report that like they're considering playing him week 17 because he's still a bit too banged up right now.
Fair enough. Honestly, I don't care either which way. I like Washington quite a bit here.
Oh, if Paxton Lynch was starting this game, Washington would easily be my super lock at -3. When I went back and looked at all the games, it's a first sweep across the board. 3 of us and the coin all on Washington. That happened 3 times last week.
They're pushes, right?
2 of them were pushes, and 1 of them was a loss. So maybe Denver's the sharp play here.
We're due.
I was calculating the pushes on like which ones like was luck on the side of and not. Like it was tough because like the Raiders was a bad beat. The Patriots got lucky.
Tennessee was a bad beat because they should have won that game.
I'm happy they didn't.
And I listen. I locked it in 2.5 right before the game, so I didn't give a shit. So, yeah. But in the purpose of what we do, it was +2 for Tennessee. So that sucked. Detroit at Cincinnati. God, how I would love Cincinnati to win this game.
They might.
You know what? I'll take them. Cincinnati +4.5.
I don't really have a logic here, but I like Cincinnati.
Is Perfect going to be back? Mr. Perfect?
I'll take Cincinnati. I hate this game.
Tim, do you know if Perfect's going to be back?
I can look that up. This seems like the perfect spot for Detroit to do something stupid and throw themselves out of the playoffs.
But look who they're playing. Do you think Cincinnati's going to do something stupid?
No, because they got nothing left to play for. Their heart was ripped out a couple of weeks ago at Pittsburgh, and they're just sort of like sleepwalking at this point. But the Lions are dumb. It's outdoors. It's Cincinnati.
I mean, Cincinnati's off blowout. Like they've been getting blown out. The Bears and the Vikes blew the tires off them.
This is just a straight up play against the Bears. Give me the Bengals +4.5.
Against the Lions, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, it's a play against the Lions. Yeah, it's just I don't have any faith in them.
I'm gonna copy.
You're on Cincinnati as well.
I just kind of with Tim. I think this is Detroit. You
you
expect them to like just win because they're in contention.
This screams of a game Detroit wins by 3. And it looks real murky, but like Cincinnati is awful right now. And the one thing that they can still actually do well, throw the ball to A.J. Green. Darius Slay is going to be all over him. So they got nothing else. Joe Mixon might not even play. I like Gio Bernard as much as the next guy, but at least when Mixon was healthy and playing, like they were more competitive.
Yep.
But yeah, I just hope Detroit loses. Is all I want to tell you. Oh, here you go. You guys are playing each other. The San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles at the New York Jets. The Jets 7-point underdogs at home. Seems like a lot of points. But I want to hear what Tim has to say and his lean in this game first before I decide of how I'm going to pick this game.
I'll go first, though.
Okay, you go first.
Credit to Tim and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chargers got beaten down last week. They got beaten down on the scoreboard. They got beaten down coming into last week. One of the reasons I really liked the Chargers and going forward was just how healthy that they were. And after Antonio Gates scored that touchdown to make it 13-10 Chargers, on the next ensuing plays, Denzel Perryman got hurt, and if you've watched the show, you know how important he was to the run defense. And the Chargers had trouble tackling in the first half, and once he left, they couldn't tackle worth a lick. So now I'm worried they can't tackle this week. They lost their nose tackle in Corey Legit. They lost their left tackle, their right tackle in Okung and Barksdale, Eckler, and Hunter Henry Truther. Seeing 18 draft him in fantasy is going to be a beast. So the Chargers are just so beaten down that even though Tim, I listened to your Monday show, thinks that they are of an inside track to a wild card spot, I'm emotionally beaten down because of the injuries, and I don't think anything exciting is possible in the long run. Most of you probably thought it was never, but that's fair. This is a team that fights. They always fight. One thing that's happened this year, Pat, consistently, is they've beaten up on these bad teams with these shitty quarterbacks in the D-line. And I'm not into Pro Bowls and snubs. Melvin Ingram's better than Joey Bosa, at least not for the future, but as this year was, he was better. And Joey's going and Melvin isn't, so that kind of caught me off guard.
The Pro Bowl is the most ridiculous thing of all time.
But just in a nutshell, as a Charger fan, like for Melvin Ingram to not be going seemed a bit ludicrous. I'm sure every team has theirs. But like I said, the way they beat up...
on the Jets.
Sure. The way the Chargers beat up, just like the run of a heater. Like when they played a bad quarterback, it seems like the D-line and the secondary is kind of feasted. So that's why I'll lay the number. And the Chargers are scoring on defense this week.
The Chargers, I mean, they have a top 10 pass rush. The Jets have one of the worst offensive lines in the league. Tim, though, has since declaring that Tampa Bay was the bye before the bye for the Jets and locking them in as a super lock, and that's a game they proceeded to lose. He has been wrong picking the Jets every single week. When he said they're going to get trounced, they win. When he says they're going to win, they get trounced.
When he says they've quit, they show up.
So, Tim, where are you going with the New York Jumbo Jets here?
I couldn't be more confident in the Chargers this week.
He's trying to curse you, Geoff.
We're teasing them down to a pick. They're in consideration for a super lock. I mean, the Jets showed up. They seem like they show up every other week. I can't believe they showed up against the Saints. I mean, I think that speaks more against the Saints than it does the Jets. It helped that the Saints turned the ball over, I think 3 times in the red zone or something. Like the Saints were keeping the Jets in the ball game. Listen, Petty is terrible. That's why we had no chance in that game. He played terribly. There's just nothing to be excited about right now.
Let's say all of a sudden Todd Bowles comes out of nowhere and says CUST is playing. Would that change your tune?
That would make it the merriest Christmas ever. But that's not going to happen.
He wants him to
because
play?
Bowles
you don't want him to play. You don't.
I just want to play.
You thought Nathan Peterman was bad against the Chargers.
I'm just saying you don't want a quarterback you like auditioning versus the Chargers. That's just, trust me. The Chargers are flawed. The Chargers are flawed in a lot of ways. But those two on the edges, they're no joke, especially against bad D-lines, O-lines.
I think the Chargers win. As I said there on Monday, I think they're the Raiders of last year. They're a dead man walking.
Double cross.
However, they're going to make. I still think they have the inside track to make it. That includes winning this game. I think they take it.
The 7's big though, because I'm seeing 6s and 6.5s. I could see this being a push. I don't know. It's a cold day, Christmas. They lost in Cleveland on Christmas last year.
Listen, I'm taking the Jets because Tim took the Chargers. He just has.
Well, I'm
just taking the opposite of Tim on the Jets every single week.
He's had no read, and we've broken that down. But
the coin also agrees with me that the Jets will cover the 7 points.
Because I think there's a defensive touchdown in this game, I'm inclined to think it goes over.
The LA Rams at Tennessee. The Jeff Fisher Bowl. I just gotta piece that together.
This is the game I'll be watching.
Also, 7 points. +7 at home for Tennessee. This game goes one of 2 ways. That the Rams come out and storm them, like they do to some teams, and just put up like 24 points in the first 20 minutes of the game is over. Or Tennessee does Tennessee things and mucks it up and just runs the ball a whole bunch, milks the clock, plays grimy defense, just tries to get their 12-play drives on the go that just suck all the air out of the game, and they have no problem covering the 7 points, and they might not even come close to winning the game. Like, it might be one of those situations. You know what's really underrated? The Rams lost their kicker. Imagine if Baltimore lost Justin Tucker. I don't know how many games.
He's not as accurate, though.
He's not, but he has that range. And it hasn't been as big of a problem this year, but just pile on the points. Because he has the extended leg, like Greg the Leg, Legatron. He can make a 56-yarder. But like, imagine if Baltimore didn't have Justin Tucker. Would they even be in the playoff picture right now?
Yes, probably.
I would give him.
Are you sure about that?
Last year, he was having a better year than this year.
But he is still the most reliable. Like, you have to give me one kicker to make one kick at any time. Justin Tucker is the answer, isn't it?
What do you think the Chargers would have to trade for him?
I think I'd still take Vinatieri.
You would take Vinatieri.
Nothing over 35 yards.
Yeah, I need a 61-yard field goal. Let's get the 50-year-old man out there.
Like 30, the extra point.
61 yards. No, from 61.
From anything over 48, 46, you wouldn't take Vinatieri.
I would still take Tucker.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I would maybe it's a tie at 33 yards between Vinatieri and Tucker, but every yard after that, it's points Tucker.
I'm taking Legatron at that point if it's a long.
Well, he's dead, so you can't take him.
And you know who's also Prater will miss the 38-yarder, but he hits those 50s like butter.
I would take Nate Kading too.
Regular season.
Hey, Tim once proclaimed Nick Folk the MVP, and now he's out of football because he missed too many field goals.
Was that year for the Jets? Let me make it simple. The Rams are going to win this by a ton. And they are the third part of a 7-point teaser. We'll make them a pick as well. Tennessee is gasping for air. They remind me of a couple years ago. It was the Vikings last year that just got out to a hot start and just got mowed down. They couldn't make it. And year after year, one team or two teams get out to a big lead, and they don't make the playoffs because they just can't win games at the end of the year. Tennessee didn't bank enough wins, and then the Rams are going to run them down.
Well, this also works well because remember I played at the U.S. Open when people played the anti-Ander CUST parlay for the three guys to miss the cut. Yeah. I took Tim's three favorite teams this year and made the anti-Ander CUST parlay. So if Tennessee misses the playoffs, it doesn't look like Oakland's going to make it. Doesn't look like Miami's going to make it. If Tennessee can somehow win out, I believe the parlay is like 13-1, 9-1, 13-1, something like that. It'll just be nice to hit. So I'll go with the LA Rams here.
It's basically hit.
Well, now you're just trying to curse it.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
The Titans' defense went all vegan, by the way.
I don't even. That's so dumb. Professional athletes should be fueling their body with proteins, not vegan kale. That seems like.
I always say when you think about working out, great physiques, and health, you think Tim Andercust.
No, but were I the owner of the Tennessee Titans and I was told, my defense is going to go vegan right now, I would fire that nutritionist on the spot.
Tim brought this up recently, that he would make a great owner, that he would be a lovable owner. This came up when the Carolina thing was going to be sold. Do you know who Tim would be as an owner? A mix of Mark Davis and Marge Schott.
I think I'd be a great owner.
I would be a great owner.
You'd be the worst, the absolute worst owner. You'd fire everyone every week.
I would be lovable and fun, and I'd give great press conferences, and I would be my own GM.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, no, I would. Yeah, no.
You should fire Nick. You would go bankrupt because you'd have to be paying guy. You'd say 5-year contract for this guy. No, you're fired next week.
I would be on the sidelines like Jerry Jones. I would win free agency every year.
I befriended Dean Spanos' son in Canton. And he's a golf guy, so he follows me, so I'm into the DMs, and we exchange, and it's good. And I haven't asked for anything yet. But I see the videos when the Chargers win games. He's the first guy, at the door in the locker room, giving the high fives and the hugs and the slaps on the asses after the win. Fuck, I'd be good at that.
Tim would just be out there smoking, being mad at people because his team was 0-16.
In Canton, I remember it was a great video I took when I asked Stephen Jones if he actually had to tackle his dad from drafting Johnny Manziel. But before that happened in the video, I asked Jerry Jones's kid, you get to own a football team or something. That's pretty cool. Rams, Tennessee. Here's the thing about the Rams. Look at every game they've lost this year. They were tied going into the fourth quarter or had a lead.
Tennessee?
No, the Rams.
Yeah.
They are so impressive. They're going to hit that points per game week in, week out. Is this Tennessee atmosphere enough to keep the Rams from scoring 30? I don't know. Here's the thing. I think Tennessee can get 24. I think it's like a 30-24 game.
They could barely get that against San Francisco's terrible defense last week.
Well, here's the thing. That being said, I think the Rams and Aaron Donald Mariota's not healthy, and you see it 2 plays
No,
into every.
he is healthy. That's fake news.
Oh, he's not healthy, and that's the reason that they're.
No, it's not. That's fake news. He just sucks.
Then that's a real problem. In my opinion, he's hurt, and you can see it 2 plays into the game. You can see it, and you can see it by the way they call plays, Pat. When he's healthy, they're calling different plays. I mean it. He's not healthy, so I like to think the Rams find a way to put this one over. And, oh, baby, my college roommate loves Les Titans.
Les Titans?
That's like, because I just demean them. So, like, I'm like, Les Titans? Like, that's how I would, like, that's how I call them to him. As much as my team's got its warts, 8-3 to 8-8, I'll be snickering the whole Christmas.
So that's a round of Rams. Coin agrees.
But I'm worried after the beatdown. Like, it's a bit of a worry, but they got a lot to play for still.
They're also good on the road, too.
Does Tennessee make the playoffs?
I hope not.
No.
Tim, does Tennessee make the playoffs?
No, I think that the Ravens are the 5 seed, the Chargers are the 6 seed. And if not, the Chargers and the Bills.
So now it's going to be Dolphins and Raiders somehow.
It's funny because a few weeks ago he had these guys in the title game.
Yeah,
I feel.
yeah, they're in the Super Bowl. Now they're out of the playoffs. They've been cursed out of the playoffs. Well, now
And they still control their own destiny.
Yeah, but here's the thing. But what he's trying to do is he's saying that they can't possibly win. They won't make the playoffs. So they do make the playoffs, and maybe they'll make the title game somehow. And be like, I was right all along. He likes to pick every team so he can pretend to be right.
To quote Sean Maynard Keynes, I change my opinions when the facts change. What do you do?
You just drink facts, and you're just fucking booze the entire time. Next game, Miami at Kansas City. Kansas City, 10.5 at home. Too many, too little? Which Jay Cutler shows up, the good one or the guy who played in Buffalo last week?
Kansas City.
I don't
Kansas-
think that's an important question.
What's that?
I don't think that's an important question. I think all that matters is whether you believe that the Chiefs are back to their form to start the year. If you do, as I do, then the Chiefs should cover this rather easily. I don't think the Dolphins on their best day can cover this number if the Chiefs are playing their best. I really believe that. I think this Chiefs team is the dark horse to win the Super Bowl, the dark horse to win the AFC. Their offense is borderline unstoppable when they're clicking. Ever since they switched play calling away from Andy Reid, this team has looked rejuvenated. They are healthy. They're ready to roll on the offensive side of the ball. The Dolphins season, for all intents and purposes, ended last week. They're not going into Arrowhead on Christmas Eve and showing up. I think it's a Kansas City beatdown.
Tim's having a snack.
What are you having, Tim?
Damn, I didn't think you could hear me. I actually don't want to say what I'm eating.
What are you eating?
Fig Newtons or something.
I don't want to say.
Yeah, I gotta say it.
I'm eating a raw piece of avocado.
What a millennial! You're such a millennial! All you eat is avocados.
I had a slice of avocado and 2 little pieces of a Toblerone bar I was going to snack on.
Toblerone bar.
Is that a mix? Avocados and Toblerone?
Well, you have the avocado first, and you have 1 or 2 little tiny pieces of a Toblerone as like a stopper.
I haven't had Toblerone forever. That's
No one has. Toblerone sucks.
No, it's not.
Toblerone
It's good.
is
It's just so
bad.
inconvenient
No, it's
and packaged awkwardly.
Bad.
Like
Bad.
No, it's not bad.
It's horrible.
It's good Swiss chocolate.
It's very good, and I like the fruit in that one that has some raisins in it.
Ugh,
It's really
yeah, no. You also like fruitcakes, and
good. Fruitcake is the official flavor of Christmas, yes.
it's so gross.
It is not. It's excellent.
All right, so after Tim's rant about how great Kansas City is and there's no possible chance Miami could cover at Arrowhead on Christmas Eve, I'll take Miami. Would you like to reverse your pick?
No, because I just like the yards per play Kansas City's had since the new coordinator. They really got to keep teams off balance.
Yeah, but they have Miami has the best defensive line in football because they have Ndamukong Suh.
Do they?
No, Tim said that though. Remember?
Oh,
and then we
he
proved that
probably
was
did.
wrong.
Yeah, no. And when Miami is,
And then they went out, they beat up Tom Brady, and I was proven correct.
Yeah.
That wasn't when you said it. You said it like 2 weeks before when
Here's
they
the
got
problem.
land-basted.
when Miami is like motivated, they can be good because when their best players, their highest paid players, a nose tackle that doesn't care, they're not getting up for a game after they've been eliminated. That's sort of like that tent's been folded. Although full credit to Adam Gase, who's trying to keep this thing on that ship upright in Miami because a horrible year when you consider the injury to the running to the quarterback Tannehill,
The receiver.
Sorry, that's what I was trying to make that joke. I couldn't get it out. And then the hurricane and all sorts of crazy things, and the offensive line coach doing the.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, so a lot of crazy things, and then the Jay Ajayi trade, and that Jay Ajayi trade happened the day after he called players out in a press conference, and he pretty much said these guys are playing for their jobs. They don't think they're playing for something; they're playing for their jobs. And I'm inclined to believe Gase, who's entrenched as the coach in Miami, he's not going anywhere. That he will watch this tape and determine jobs, just like the same way he didn't think Ajayi was putting in effort and traded him 2 days later, whether you think that's fair or not. So I like the coach speak coming out of Miami. I just don't think that team will be motivated enough.
Forgot about the coach bumping rails. That was hilarious.
Underrated part of the season.
It was.
Yeah.
That's up there with the Fox Signs 5-year extension.
I actually think it's better.
It is better. It was better because it had a video of it. It's like, Jesus Christ. I'm taking Miami. Tampa Bay at Carolina. Carolina -10 at home. I'll take Carolina.
I'm going to take Tampa because Winston looks healthy, and I think there could be a backdoor. Carolina wins, not by 10.
Tim?
Tampa got up big last week on primetime Monday night. Showed some pride. Now they're going to Carolina. I don't like the game. I think Carolina covers, but not by a whole lot. Like Panthers
Jerry
by
Richardson,
13.
I think this is like 35-17. I think it's just Tampa Bay's defense is so bad, and Tam is awesome against bad defenses.
I forget about that. And they lost like 4 more guys.
And they're on a short week.
Okay.
It is a lot for
Jameis is healthy. He looked healthy. Like
he did. He did look good.
He finally looked healthy, and he was moving around in the pocket and moving plays along.
Who would you take?
Tampa will be a competitive team next year if they get a head coach in there that knows what he's doing.
I got a flip-flop because you're right. Against no health, this just looks like I wish I had Cam Newton in fantasy type Sunday.
Would you rather have Jameis or Mariota?
Mariota.
Jameis.
I loved this question a year ago.
Who would you rather have, Bryce Petty or Mariota? Bryce Petty.
What's
You
so
only
funny
say that
is
Who
how
would you rather have, Nate Peterman or Marcus Mariota? Nate Peterman.
I love playing, like when the two quarterbacks go 1-2, you know, I experienced a horrible one in Manning Leaf, but we've had others in Luck and RG3 and Wentz and Goff and Mariota and Winston. And it's like Goff, Mariota, Winston, Mariota, like coming into this season, even though they had some more experience, I thought was like such a better 1-2 than Goff, Wentz. Even on draft day, when they did draft Goff, Wentz 1-2, I was like, well, their draft grade comparable should be to like Winston, Mariota, and would they've gone ahead of either of them? And most people would have said no, but here we are sitting today, and the Goff Wentz 1-2 looks like it's not going anywhere.
I mean, you would have said that last year, too.
No, I just said that, so it's hard to tell, but you know.
All right, late slate of games, there's only 3. There's no Sunday nighter. Jacksonville at San Francisco. San Francisco +4. This is a big spot for your guys' boyfriend, Jimmy G.
Love it. This could be a super lock. This spread is wrong. If Jimmy
it's
Garoppolo started every game this year, this is like an 8-win, 9-win football team, and this game is almost a pickup. This is like a San Fran +1 at home.
Exactly.
These guys lost to Gabbert on the road. This Jacksonville team is special. They got a lot of things going for them. In the right matchups and situations, they can cause a lot of teams a lot of problems. I don't think they're going to cause San Fran that problem this week going cross country. Give me 49ers, super lock contender. I am on both knees when it comes to this team.
Okay, the coin likes San Francisco. Tim, you like San Francisco as well?
Oh, yeah, they are on both the parlay and the teaser. That's how much.
There we go.
Right shit. Oh, no. Money
So
line or points?
We'll tease San Francisco up to +11 in the teaser, and that will complete the 17. That will complete the teaser, and we will also go ahead and grab the 49ers on the money line parlay. Yes, the 49ers are actually the better team in this game. That's the thing. Their quarterback is so much better that I think the Jaguars going across are an emotional couple of wins. And now the Titans are losing, and they're going to know the Titans will have lost going into this game. Therefore, they won't lie like Cam Newton and pretend like they don't know what happened in the game before them. They know that Tennessee is essentially lost losing that game.
That is a good point.
As such, Jacksonville doesn't need the game as much. They'll be a little bit more complacent. Jimmy G is proving that he's one of the best 5 quarterbacks. and the Niners go up and down the field deep. I think they're going to beat the Jags deep a couple of times. I think the Niners win by 10, and they're just unstoppable.
I think the Jags win by like 30 points. This is the week that all the Jimmy G people get brought back down to earth. It's the same 49ers team that needed a last-second field goal to beat fucking Tennessee last week.
Got into field goal. He got 3 plays. The dude had them hitting a field goal.
Exactly.
Jacksonville is significantly better in this amount.
Okay, I agree. I don't think the 2-minute drill must easily, but they would have already covered at that point. He can lose the game. That's fine. Nothing changes my opinion. Even if they get their asses. Nothing changes my opinion.
I think he'll be good too. Jacksonville make Ben look stupid. We've seen them make good quarterbacks look stupid this year.
Do you think because I talked about one of the rumors, the fun one out there is that they cut half the trade value essentially because to get him to the NFC. And when you just take out half the teams you would deal him to, then he's worth less in a trade. Do you buy that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Absolutely. You trade him to you throw him
but
over
would Garoppolo have fixed
the
the Browns?
I don't know.
To the Bengals, the Browns, the Jets, those teams are immediately better.
I mean, I think a lot of it comes into the situation that the other teams also knew the spot the Patriots were in. If they had kept Garoppolo, they probably would have done a giant deal. Then you have 2 quarterbacks money or franchised him, which part of the Patriots being good is that Brady takes less money so they can sign other players.
Yes, and also the other part of that, people are like he's worth what he was worth in the trade is little tangible film, I guess. So there was film on Garoppolo, but he is due a huge contract for a guy with very little film.
Sure.
And that was part of the...
Or maybe you say a 41-year-old quarterback is not my future and I move along.
Whatever. You can't blame
that. They're not going to do Brady like that, though. They just won't.
No, but Joe Montana. It happened to Brett Favre. It happened to Peyton Manning. Brady's more important than any of those guys.
Yeah, but those guys and where they sucked before they did it to them. Brady hasn't had that season.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Or injury.
I'm just...
No. You just want that to happen. So you can be like, Tom Brady's not the best. 5 Super Bowls, bad, but he lost 2 on Tim. That's what you sound like. Hey, we just had some tech difficulties. Fortunately, nothing was lost, but we had to take a timeout. So to recap the picks from that last game, as we'll be moving on. San Francisco for Geoff. San Francisco for Tim. San Francisco for the coin, but Jacksonville, -4 on the road for Pat Mayo. Next game, New York Giants at Arizona. Here we go, -3.5 Arizona. Drew Stanton starting at quarterback. Geoff, how do you feel about this one?
This is the worst game of the day. I'd rather watch the Bronco-Washington game, I feel.
Do you have a lean either way here?
Give me the home team.
You take Arizona -3.5?
Yeah, props to the Giants for the cover last week, but Arizona.
You and I were on that one.
Yeah. Arizona at home, QB switch.
Kerwin Williams is looking like semi-doubtful for the Cardinals. Sterling Shepard likely to be minimized by Patrick Peterson. On the other side, Traveris King not playing for the Giants either. So see some Roger Lewis in your life. This is where we're at with this game. Tim, do you have a take?
Yeah, I don't see why you would take the Giants in this game. The Niners are on the free money parlay. The Cardinals, are on the free money parlay. I love them. I got no interest in the Giants. This team is completely dead and done and just walking towards the second pick in the draft.
When was the last time Arizona scored a touchdown?
Well, that's a good question.
I feel like it was 3 weeks ago.
Was that the Jacksonville game?
Yes. Isn't that nuts?
That bespeaks some of the how good their defense has been, that they've been competitive in these games.
I mean, they couldn't cover 4.5 in Washington last week, and Washington was terrible.
They looked like they scored a touchdown against the Rams back a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, maybe it was a defense. I believe that was a defensive touchdown.
Trying to. Whoop.
What was that?
Don't you worry about that. No. Blaine Gabbert threw for a touchdown in that game to Elijah Penny.
Oh. Penny could be a good Draftkings play this week if Kerwin sits, by the way. I'm going to take the Giants. This feels like a field goal game. I'll take the hook. I don't care either way. Seattle at Dallas. Dallas minus.
I got to take about this game.
I got to take about this game, too. Zeke is back for Dallas. Dallas can still technically make the playoffs, and so can Seattle technically as well. Yes, Seattle's defense is bad. Yes, the Dallas pass rush is a lot better than I think the people realize. I'm going to take Seattle. I just coming off a drubbing like that, I don't think they've quit. And I think that Russell Wilson is probably the best player in this game. I know the back end of the defense for the Seahawks has not been good. They're still okay against the run. A lot of Gurley's damage was, it was done a bit off tackle, but a lot of it was through the receiving game as well. I think this is a close game. I'm going to take Seattle.
I'll take Russell Wilson in 4.5 points.
Tim?
I'll take Dallas pretty comfortably. I don't think Seattle's season is now effectively over. Their chance of making the playoffs is pretty slim. They win no tie breaks against Atlanta. They're just in a bad spot. At Big D with the return of Ezekiel Elliott. Gurley ran all over them. Zeke's at least as good a back as Gurley, if not better. He should run all over them. At Dallas, I don't think Seattle has a prayer. Give me the Cowboys. They're also on the free money parlay.
Coin like Seattle. Let's say Seattle lost a hard-fought game last week, 20-17. What would the line in this game be? Pick 'em?
Not much different. Maybe 3.5 instead of 4.5.
Pick 'em?
No chance. Dallas by 3.5. Dallas by 3 at the most. Can't favor Seattle in the game. Dallas is at home and Dallas won, so they have the same record.
Can Seattle hold Dallas to field goals?
Probably.
I don't think so. Not without their best players on the field. They're all hurt.
I mean, Dallas didn't impress me in Oakland. They're lucky to win a game. I mean, it's a tough game. It's just 4.5 points. I think they'll find a way to keep it close. It'll be it's the afternoon TV game, Christmas.
You want to bet in this game?
This game's close.
Over.
Sure.
I don't know what the number is.
But even
Paul,
30
what's the number? Like 50? 47? Over.
Seems low.
It does seem low. I feel like points are going to be.
Because I think you're easy at 22 apiece, and
like
one more score gives you.
If Seattle wins this game, I feel like it's 30-27. Like their offense is still good.
I even see Dallas winning 34-31.
Sure, me too. But I do think it's a higher scoring game, and I think that's the path to Seattle winning here. Just get into a boat race and hope Russell Wilson can win it for you at the end. Like Russell Wilson, regardless of the options that he has right now, he's better than Dak Prescott.
You said he's the best player in this game. Second is probably Zeke. Third is probably the O-line. Yeah.
All right, so Seattle for everyone besides Tim. What were you going to say?
Sean Lee is kind of nullified when, the play becomes a Houdini act.
That's true.
If it's simple football and chess, I get it. But when he's playing snakes and ladders, he's playing a kid's board game while you're playing, NFL chess, I don't think you're not playing the same game. Sean Lee's amazing. I'm not taking anything away. I just feel like against this guy means less.
Well, I think that's all.
Or I guess you could say it means more.
Well, I mean, it's weird because I think that's what a lot of people are. I mean, Tim has pointed to it, I think, the past 2 weeks now. It's that, you can beat Jacksonville deep with deep passes. Russell Wilson can. And he's been the only one to do it all year long.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does. He's going to extend the play, wait for someone just to... He can extend the play to 10 seconds in the pocket and then beat people down the field. Other quarterbacks don't have that luxury to be able to do that sort of play. So, I mean, I wouldn't really be too concerned about, Jacksonville's pass defense, but I think that against...
Who's concerned about Jacksonville's pass defense?
Tim is.
Oh,
I think that's why they don't think they can win a playoff game.
They've arguably the best corner in football and
the second best.
And maybe the top safety in the league in his second year.
That's nice. The Patriots or Steelers will each hang 30 on them if they play.
Okay, that doesn't mean that they're...
The last time we saw Jacksonville play Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, Jacksonville blew the doors off of them.
That doesn't have any relevance, though, to the playoffs.
But what happened in week 2 does, Geoff?
Just year after year, that doesn't matter.
Pittsburgh at Houston. Houston, 9-point underdogs at home. Obviously, the cursed Antonio Brown will not be playing in this game. I just still think it's too good of a matchup for the Steelers. The only concern that I have is the Steelers on the road generally do not play as well, and they have the tendency to play to the level of their competition. But Houston's bad, and their defense is just horrible.
The craziest number? Sometimes Walter Football spits out these crazy numbers.
Just remember to say them into the mic.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, Pat, are 3-17 against the spread as a road favorite of 8 or more since 1990. That's so far back, but even in your recent biased memory, it's oh my God, that makes perfect sense. That being said, I'm the idiot that thought they would blow out
Green Bay
and the Colts. So I don't know what is this is Christmas Day, National Football. I just think it's gonna be a drubbing, won't it?
It feels like it, but
what I just read tells you like you're crazy. Like they never do it.
now where are you leading, Tim?
Oh, I'm not leaning. I'm comfortably taking the Texans. For the exact reasons you just described. If Brett Hundley can tear up the Steelers secondary,
He didn't tear up the Steelers secondary.
they had a huge day against the Steelers. The Packers
They did, and two of them came off.
Okay, fine.
One was a broken coverage, one was a screen pass.
The Steelers having trouble tackling. When Joe Flacco goes off on you, you're in a bit of a problem defensively, though, right?
Joe Hayden will be back. Obviously.
Hopkins is going to have a massive game. If you need him in your fantasy playoffs for Christmas Day, be happy because he's going to have a monster. He'd be my number 2 receiver, not number 1 receiber in fantasy this week. I love it.
It could be 21-3 when he gets his first big
That's the
meaningful reception.
No,
and that's something I agree he'll get his, but I don't know that it means anything to the game flow. I really don't.
Steelers super close, like maybe overtime to win this game. I think they win it, but super close. Texans and the points is the only way to play this game.
Pittsburgh for me then, -9.
You are just, I know it's like a habit of you in general, like when he's super confident, but you, like I've seen anytime he starts using, adjectives that like enhance his confidence, you are instantly using your pen to write the other side for yourself.
Yes. And I'm winning this year.
That this one's got to change. If it goes how Tim is calling it, it'll be easy to sit there Christmas Day, be like, damn Steelers, I'm the idiot that laid the points.
I'm not betting this game.
No, but for the purpose of here, we're picking it. That wouldn't shock me. But for the purpose of picking it, I gotta lay Pittsburgh.
Coin is on Houston, along with Tim. Last game, Oakland at Philadelphia. Philadelphia -9. At home, Nick Foles throwing 4 touchdowns. The defense didn't look so great. I don't know if Amari Cooper is going to play or not. I guess it doesn't matter. If you have Michael Crabtree in fantasy, you play him. Am I crazy to think that Oakland is just going to get themselves – there's going to be a scenario next week, where somehow the Chargers-Oakland is like a play-in game to the playoffs. Oakland is awful.
That would be
like they somehow win this game. I don't know why. There's no logic behind it. I just feel like Oakland's going to win.
I feel like
Oakland's terrible.
I'm not laying 9 points with Nick Foles. It's more about that in a game that I think Philly just wants to get out and win.
Hey, listen, we took the points against Nick Foles last week. It worked. I'll take the points again against Nick Foles.
I mean. Even last week, they had a block extra point. They had a block punt. They had a block field goal. They could find a way to do it, even in spite of Nick, who I'm a fan of. But 9 points, I'll take 9. I'll take back the 9.
Tell us why Nick Foles will cover this game by 35 points, Tim.
Because the Raiders are absolutely atrocious. I mean, that's part of it. Philly puts up the win. They have home field throughout the playoffs, so there's everything to play for this game. It's a night game, time for Nick Foles to sort of prove himself. This will be the game that sort of crystallizes the popular opinion about him going into the playoffs. Philly gets the W, then they can basically rest for 2 weeks before they have to play another meaningful game. Yeah, Philly's the last leg of the free money parlay. I feel pretty good about that. And, yeah, I think they blitz them. Raiders are just bad. I don't think it's going to be a competitive game. 30-3, 30-12, something like that. Philly by a bunch.
Why wouldn't the Philly go on the teaser instead of the parlay? That parlay shouldn't Philly go on your teaser instead of the parlay?
I already got 5 on my teaser. Right? 6 feels like I'm getting greedy.
Getting greedy is taking a 9-point favorite on the money line when the parlay's over on Sunday afternoon. That's what I call getting greedy, Tim.
Yeah, I lined it up the way I kind of like it.
It does put you in a really easy hedge situation, though, because you get 3-1 to bet the Raiders to hedge out of it.
Yeah, or middle. It just seems strange. Like, I can end this bet at 4 o'clock if Dallas wins, or I'm going to let it... 5 o'clock. Right?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't see a need to do it.
On the teaser, you could juice that teaser up.
That is getting far greedier than teasing them down to -2.
2 on a big teaser that makes the teaser worth double. I don't know. That's just a disclaimer from me to the tribune of people.
SUPERLOCKS. Superlocks. Tim, you can go first since you pushed last week. You are 6, 7, and 2. Who is your Superlock?
San Francisco +4. It's the worst line of the week. It's an unintelligent line, and you better go bet it now because there's I don't know who in the right mind is going to the counter to lay points with Jacksonville against this Niners team. So
exactly, because
Niners
love the
grab
Niners.
it immediately.
I agree with Tim, so we're probably in the wrong. It's not my super lock, but
it's not.
To me, that game, like, if the 49ers are 8-8, it's like a 1-point spread for Jacksonville cross country. I wanted to pick, Tim picked it, and it's on both his tickets, eh?
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. So when they lose by 5, game over for Tim.
The game is on.
He just lost 2 Christmases.
I'm tempted to take Oakland or Washington. Give me Washington.
I gave Washington a strong consideration too. So Washington -3 for you.
Yeah.
The more and more I think about it, now that we actually had the technical difficulty, I was able to catch up on some news. Davante Adams ruled out for the Green Bay Packers. The only person Brett Hundley can throw to.
Yeah.
I will take Minnesota on the road -9 as my super lock. I just think they fucking trounce them.
Connect Green Bay with Army on Saturday night and win some money.
You're on the other side.
I'm on the other. I have San Diego State parlayed with Rory. So I parlayed San Diego State against the spread and Rory McIlroy to win the U.S. Open at 12-1. It's 24-1 now.
I like it.
So Tim, recap your free money teaser and parlay for the good people.
So the free money teaser for the people is the Chargers at a pick'em, the Rams at a pick'em, the 49ers getting 11, the Falcons getting 13, and the Ravens laying 6.5. The parlay for the people is, so the teaser is a +325 situation. The parlay is +1055. You connect the Redskins, Cowboys, Cardinals, 49ers, and Eagles.
Okay, so let's just play a scenario here. Can you bring up that teaser again?
Sure.
Can you make that teaser and put Philly -2 on
Yeah,
it?
it comes like 6-1.
Oh, the teaser.
There's more value in adding that game to the teaser than the parlay. Financially,
yeah, but
like,
I actually want to see that. I actually want to see what the because he just gave us.
It'll become a 6-1 teaser, and it'll do minimal to the money line.
That's what I want to see. I just want to know what it is. So when he makes the teaser, I'll do the money line parlay without Philly and see what that is, and you do the teaser, Tim.
Okay, well I know the money line parlay. I think it's like +820 or something without Philly.
It just sounds greedy.
Yeah, but it's free money.
I mean, yeah, that is true. When it's free money,
Philly's
it's
not
free
losing
money.
that game. That's the thing. Philly is never losing that game.
I'll use
the Niners are +175. You really think the Niners are going to win? That's your money line Niners parlayed with Spieth at the Masters.
I'd be taking the points back with the 49ers though. Also, if I'm making that ticket.
Dallas.
Well, you guys do the math. I'll just encourage people to sign up for the one and done.
Yeah, gupscorner.com/one-and-done.
It's all over Pat's Twitter. I'll tweet something out today.
Yeah, so it's +824 if you take Philly off of that money line parlay.
That actually, from a what, 10.55?
Yeah.
It is like 20%.
Yeah, it is worth it, right?
It's more than I thought it was going. It took off more than I thought it would.
Yeah, but parlays are losing bets.
Of course.
So the more games that you can contract it, always the better. You know what I mean? Did you do the teaser yet?
I am doing it now. Hold on. Teaser. Where's my teaser?
Because it's already a 7-game teaser, right?
Yeah,
it's a 5-game teaser.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sorry, so we're just gonna make it a 6. Yeah, it'll be like 6-1.
It's a +350 teaser if I add Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We add Philadelphia. Show more. Add Philadelphia to the tease. It gets to +500.
See, that sounds way more worth it.
No, see, as much as
it's a lot more similar than I thought. It seems like it's the same.
If you think Philly's going to win and you're confident that they're going to cover the 9 anyway.
All right, add them on. Let's do it.
There we go. That's what I like to hear. Oakland by 3 is your final.
So he's not even taking it off
no,
to the money line.
Adding
he's
it
just
to
adding
the
it. Okay, ball. I like it. It's Christmas. Remember, you get one Christmas for 10 Christmases.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and we're now 1 Christmas for 5 Christmases here.
Yeah.
On the teaser. So that will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience in terms of the Week 16 spreads. Remember, check out all the shows next week. If you subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube feed, you can find it all up there. I would like to thank Tim and CUST.
Tim and CUST.
Not my name.
For being on the line. I'd like to thank Geoff Fienberg for being here. You can follow Geoff on Twitter at GFienberg17. You can follow me at the PME on Twitter. Remember, subscribe, like I said, on iTunes, Stitcher, Podomatic, Audio Boom, and Google Play for the audio versions. DraftKings YouTube page for the video versions. The cheat sheet for the show will be up on my Facebook page, facebook.com/the PME. Give it a like while you're there, or a follow, or whatever the hell people do on Facebook. Anyway, I'm Pat Mayo. Have a happy Christmas or happy holidays, and I'll see you next time.